Okay. So the entire source of the knowledge what we have, we consider in India that the source is Veda. So this word Veda comes from the root with. With means to know. Okay. Thus Veda can be understood as knowledge. Very simple way to understand. Okay. So what is this knowledge about? Whatever we can conceive of and whatever is beyond our present conception of what is knowledge. So right from it has information on how to build a home, how somebody could get rains, or how someone can realize who they are. See the breadth, length, and depth of the knowledge. A very approximate thing what all of us know today is a search engine, a Google. Where you go there, nobody comes back empty-handed. Some information or other we get. Correct? So Veda is the traditional system of knowledge. So how people understood, people were made to understand that there are 4 Vedas. Traditionally, if you look at it, Veda is 1, classified as 4. It's very big difference in saying there are 4 Vedas and saying clearly that Veda is 1, classified as 4. Like your schooling is schooling. Then you say first standard portion, second standard portion. Then you're classifying those portions, right? That's it. Schooling itself is not divided into 12, correct? 12 standards, not like that. So similarly, we have to have a holistic view of it. And many researchers also say that the Rig Veda, which is the ancient and the oldest script and the book available to human race now, is the oldest of the books of knowledge. So what they did is every classified book broadly was further classified into 4 sections for ease of understanding. So the first one is called a Samhita. Samhita means a collection. This collection is what is this collection? The great ones who are called rishis, when they were in deep meditation, they saw the truth. Rishi means in English seer, S-E-E-R, seer. In English we have a word seer, right? So Rishi means a seer. So Samhitas or any portion in the Veda is not just somebody sat down, thought about it and wrote it. It's not of conscious human intellect. It was tapped by seers. The truth is always there. The knowledge is always there. Is it clear? So when they sat in deeper meditations, what they saw are the Veda, the text what we call as Veda. So Samhita is the oldest collection which is there. And over a period of time, what happens is someone has to interpret it, correct? Someone has to write a commentary or how this knowledge can be utilized. So the Brahmanas, there's another section of texts are titled as Brahmanas. Not the caste what we know, that is different. So whatever was mentioned in Samhita was elaborated and commentated for day-to-day use and how the knowledge can be derived and put to good use, correct, by this text. So these two are considered as the earlier portion. When I say earlier portion, the first part. Then gradually you understand about the third one, which is the Aranyaka. Aranya means forest. Aranyakas means there are methods to practice a ritual without externalizing it. Like today, mostly we tell, no, I have respect within. I don't need to show my respect by falling at your feet or going to a temple. Many of us tell such things, right? But we tell certain things in a premature way. First, you have to undergo that so that the obedience is developed, the ego is subjugated, then the external activities are not no longer needed, then you start internalizing. Today, many of us conveniently jump into, because of sheer laziness and confusion, directly we say, my respect is in the mind. I've internalized it. So we have to go grade by grade. One way to understand Aranyaka means the forest universities, like where the teachers and students studied, correct? And the Brahmanas and the first two, they are mentally with the householders or people who are completely into the ritual side of it. So in Aranyaka, what they did, the same thing, rituals which were externalized, they tried to internally do it. Internalization happens for deeper discovery. Then the fourth portion is popularly called as the Upanishads. All of us know. So what is Upanishads? Wherein you are no longer concerned about the ephemeral world or a ritual or anything outside, but the complete idea is to know who we are. What Upanishad says it literally means seated close by. Upanishad. Seated close by what? Literally means you are seated with your teacher. You have a dialogue is happening. A student is asking a question and the teacher is responding. That is the external way to understand. But internally, it means you are seated closer to yourself. How close? At the end, there is no difference. You realize you are that which you are seeking. Correct? Is it clear? Ultimately, we should know who we are, right? So the knowledge of who we are, am I just Bhavana? Am I just Chitra? Or is there is something which is more real? Because this appears to change. So Upanishads completely tell us about the ultimate truth which is beyond any change. So this is the gradual way of understanding. So to summarize, first is the seers saw the truth, the knowledge, body of knowledge, and that is called the Samhita. Then in the Brahmanas, these Samhitas were commentated upon, elaborate methods were given to understand, and the third section is the Aranyaka, where gradually withdrawing from the day-to-day needs, going to the eternal need, that is to know who you are, were majorly mentioned, and even the rituals were internalized. Then the final section, there is no external ritual. The only quest is to know who we are. So to know who we are, ultimately, the student graduated to studying the Upanishads. Is it clear? So this is the simple way to understand. It's a non-technical way to understand. Is it okay?